What if the place you've never noticed, the house you've walked past in your dreams, or the location that keeps appearing in your thoughts for no reason, is not random at all? What if someone connected to your destiny has already prepared something that carries your name in ways you never expected? Before you dismiss this as coincidence, listen carefully, because today's message isn't about luck, it's about timing. There is a hidden connection between your future and a place that has quietly been waiting for the right season to reveal itself. The strange part is that your soulmate has been carrying the weight of this secret for much longer than you realize. Their heart has wrestled with a decision they couldn't explain to anyone, because even they felt something extraordinary was unfolding. The property isn't just land, walls, or a building. It represents a promise, a new chapter, and a life that begins after everything you've survived. Don't skip, because the final revelation in this journey may completely change the way you look at the signs surrounding your life. And the first clue has already appeared, but almost everyone misses it. There is a reason certain streets, certain numbers, and certain places seem strangely familiar even when you've never been there. Sometimes destiny whispers before it speaks loudly. Your soulmate has been experiencing these whispers for months. They felt drawn toward a location they couldn't explain. Every visit brought an overwhelming sense of peace, as though someone invisible was preparing the ground for something much greater than ownership. They believed they were making an ordinary decision, yet every unexpected delay, every closed door, and every sudden opportunity quietly pushed them toward a single destination. The incredible part is that this place has never truly been about them alone. It has always carried a connection that reaches beyond one person. Imagine discovering that every setback in your own journey wasn't punishment but preparation for walking into a season where everything begins to fit together like pieces of a puzzle. There were moments when you wanted to give up, moments when nothing made sense, moments when you wondered if your future had forgotten your name. But while you were fighting battles nobody saw, unseen doors were slowly opening. Somewhere else. Your soulmate couldn't fully understand why they felt the need to protect this place, why they hesitated whenever someone else showed interest, or why their heart refused to let it go. Deep inside, there was an unshakable feeling that someone important still had to arrive. That feeling wasn't built on logic. It was built on purpose. And here's where everything becomes even more mysterious. Recently, something changed. A conversation, an unexpected document, or a surprising discovery shifted the entire picture. What looked ordinary suddenly carried hidden meaning. Details that once seemed insignificant now pointed toward one incredible conclusion. The property wasn't simply becoming available. It was becoming part of a story much larger than anyone imagined. Stay till the end, because the next clue reveals why this location feels strangely connected to your own life, even if you've never seen it before. Have you noticed how certain memories return without warning? A picture appears in your mind. A neighborhood feels oddly familiar. A dream repeats itself until you can't ignore it anymore. Sometimes these moments are reminders that your future is already moving toward you, even while your present feels unchanged. Your soulmate has begun noticing similar patterns. They keep feeling as though someone is about to enter their life carrying the missing piece they've been waiting for. Every passing day strengthens that feeling. Every unexpected event seems to point toward the same destination. Yet the most surprising part has not been revealed. There is something about the address itself that makes this story unforgettable. It's not because of luxury or fame. It's because of the meaning hidden behind it. Certain numbers have appeared repeatedly in unexpected places. Certain names have surfaced again and again. Even small coincidences have formed a pattern too consistent to ignore. Whether you believe in signs or simply believe that every meaningful journey unfolds at the right moment, this story invites you to pay attention. Somewhere, a door is preparing to open, and when it does, you'll understand why every delay mattered. The address carries a connection that reaches deeper than anyone expected, and the photo linked to it reveals a detail almost nobody notices on the first glance. That single detail changes everything, but the truth behind it will only make sense once the next chapter begins. Something huge is waiting for you. The moment you see the photo connected to this place, don't make the mistake that almost everyone makes. Most people look at the walls, the windows, or the entrance. But that's not where the real message is hidden. Look beyond the obvious. There is always one detail that quietly speaks louder than everything else. It could be the direction the sunlight touches the doorway, an old tree standing faithfully beside the property, or a path that seems to invite someone home. These aren't random details in today's message, they represent the journey you've already survived. Your soulmate never understood why this property felt impossible to leave behind, even when easier opportunities appeared. Every logical reason said, walk away. Yet something deeper whispered, wait. They couldn't explain that feeling to anyone because it sounded impossible. But destiny often feels impossible until the exact moment it becomes reality. What makes this even more astonishing is that a recent discovery completely changed everything. A forgotten record, an unexpected conversation, or a long-overlooked connection suddenly revealed that this place was never meant to stay hidden forever. It was waiting for the right season, and the right person. If this message has stirred something inside you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because every message is designed to help you recognize the moments that others overlook. And before we continue, share this with someone who always believes that extraordinary things can happen when the timing is right. Now listen carefully, because the next revelation is the one almost nobody is prepared to hear. What if the greatest surprise isn't the property itself, but the reason your path keeps leading back to it in ways you never noticed before? Think about every delay that frustrated you. Every opportunity that disappeared. Every plan that suddenly changed without explanation. What if those moments weren't stealing your future, but protecting it? Imagine arriving too early and missing the people you were meant to meet. Imagine receiving something before you were ready to appreciate its value. Your soulmate has been living through that exact lesson. They believed they were waiting for answers, but in reality, the answers were waiting for them. Recently, everything began moving at an unexpected pace. Events that once seemed impossible started aligning one after another. Conversations happened at exactly the right moment. Missing information suddenly appeared. Doors that had remained closed for months quietly opened without struggle. It felt as though an invisible hand had been arranging every piece behind the scenes. But then something happened that made your soulmate stop in complete silence. While looking through details connected to this property, one small clue stood out so clearly that it couldn't be ignored. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't dramatic. Yet it carried a message that felt deeply personal. In that instant, they realized this place wasn't just about ownership. It was about belonging. It was about welcoming someone whose journey had been unfolding long before either of you understood the story. And here's what makes this message unforgettable. The closer the moment comes, the stronger the signs become. You may notice familiar numbers appearing more often. You may feel unexpectedly drawn toward places you've never considered before. You may even experience an unexplainable peace in the middle of uncertainty. These moments don't force your future, they simply remind you to stay aware. Because sometimes the biggest blessing arrives so quietly that only those paying attention recognize it. And what happens next will connect every clue you've heard today into one breathtaking picture. Now imagine standing in front of that address for the very first time. The air feels different. The silence feels meaningful. Instead of wondering whether you belong there, something inside you whispers that you've been expected all along. Your soulmate has imagined that moment more than once without realizing why it felt so real. They couldn't explain the sense of familiarity. They couldn't explain why leaving always felt harder than arriving. They couldn't explain why hope returned every single time they thought about this place. But soon, every unanswered question begins pointing toward one extraordinary conclusion. The photo you've been waiting to see doesn't simply reveal a location, it reveals the beginning of a completely different chapter. A chapter where confusion gives way to clarity, where waiting gives way to purpose, and where what once looked impossible suddenly feels completely natural. This is why today's message has unfolded one clue at a time instead of revealing everything at once. Some truths become powerful only when your heart is ready to receive them. And the final revelation is unlike anything you've heard so far.